Hey everybody, I am coming making this video message and I have to address something that continues to come up, and I want to give some information to some women out here if you are experiencing this or if you have experienced this. This is about women who date men in the workplace. That's what the video message is about. And I want to talk about this because you all already know I have a couple of videos out where I've talked about bullying in the workplace, and I've talked about various things that happen in the workplace. But I have to address this particular thing because I have one-on-one sessions with different women, and it seems to keep being a common thing where there are women who start a job or they are moved to a certain department in their job, and there is a woman that is either in a relationship with a man that works at the job, or in her mind she feels like it's her man because she's having sex with him. And so when you come across these type of situations, these jealous women who are sleeping with the man or talking to the man, whatever situationship they have going on with the man in their workplace, they will typically be very jealous and controlling when it comes to the woman they're intimidated by. And I also experienced this not at one but two different jobs a few years ago, a couple of years ago. So I know that it is very common, but a lot of people don't address it, they don't expose it, and they don't really talk about it. But let me just say this to you guys, and I'm really talking to the women. When you realize that there is a woman who is problematic in the workplace and you get wind of her dating a certain guy, because the fact of the matter is a lot of times you find out by accident that a particular woman is sleeping with a man in the workplace, or that they're talking, because if that woman is cool with other women in that job, those women will tell you. They may see you in the hallway or in the office talking to that man, or whatever it is your position is or your title is. You may be pulling up in a parking lot and they see you saying good morning, or you ask a question, or that man asks you a question. And any women that are friends or associates with the woman that is dealing with that man, they will come and tell you, oh girl, be careful, so and so, that's her boyfriend, or so and so, she kind of talking to him, she's messing with him. I've noticed that because, like I said, it happened to me. They always have little spies, they always have little foot soldiers that come back and report to them what their boyfriend or what the guy that they're sleeping with is doing and what his interactions are with another woman. Now, I'm gonna tell you all a little bit about what I experienced at two different jobs. And at one of my jobs, this was a older woman. This was an older Hispanic woman, but her boyfriend was an African American guy, and he was younger. And so he was dealing with this woman, and a lot of us that was new to the company, we didn't know it. We didn't know that they were in a relationship, but there were buzzings about their relationship. Like, certain women would go in the bathroom and people would be complaining about her, how she had them moved, or how she was aggressive with them, or they would try to ask her boyfriend, who was a team lead, a particular question, and he would ignore them, or he would be aggressive with them, or they would complain about the fact that certain things started happening to them at the job and they couldn't get ahead and they didn't understand why. And so you all have to know this. When people start to tell you about a couple at a job, or when you find out, no matter how you find out, somebody may have mentioned it in the bathroom, somebody may have mentioned it on lunch, when you were in the cafeteria, you may have saw them together and you just put two and two together. I urge you, you all could do what you want, but I urge any woman that goes to a job and you find out that a woman is messing with or talking to, and she has dealings with a certain man at that job, I would suggest that you immediately get moved from that building, get your cubicle moved, you get transferred to another location, or you outright quit. I am here to tell you all, and I will never steer you all wrong or lie to you. Women like this are extremely problematic, and it will be a uphill battle depending on what position that woman holds or who her boyfriend is. It just so happened at the job I was at, this woman, she didn't have a title. She was the woman who would work, for the most part, in the front office. So when you came into the building, she worked in a front office, and she would basically take the new hires or potential hires that would come for interviews. She would take them on a tour around the building. She would just tell them where every department was, what every department did. She would walk them around the building. She would introduce them to different people. She didn't have any clout. She did not have any power to hire or fire anybody. But because her boyfriend was a team lead, if she felt like there was a woman who he liked, because ladies, you already know the type of woman or the type of women your man likes. You know this. Let's just call out the pink elephant and the crocodile in the room. You already know the type of women that your boyfriend or that your husband likes if he's a cheater. You know if he likes big women, plus size women. You know if he likes dark skinned women, light skinned women, women with natural hair, women with long hair, tall women, slim women. Whatever it is, you know what your man likes. Sometimes it's not even about a woman's physical appearance. It could just simply be her personality. But women are not dumb. We know pretty much if it's a man that we're married to or a man that we're dating, we already know what he likes, because he's going to tell you, or you catch him looking at certain women. You know, sometimes it may be shocking the type of women he likes if he does not tell you. But anyway, and excuse me guys, it's like really, really hot today. So you guys got to excuse me. So anyway, what I was saying is that I would suggest you leave, because these women are relentless at the things that they do to try to get rid of you. You will be micromanaged by a woman that, like I said, has no power. They have no clout. But because you work in the vicinity with her man and she's intimidated by you, or you may be her man's type, she's going to try to make your life a living hell. If she has to spread a rumor and tell the boss or tell somebody in corporate that you did something, that you said something, that you're not doing your job right, she's going to do something. Not all women do this, but a lot of them, especially if they're very insecure, very jealous, or I don't want to say if they're younger, because like I said, the two women I experienced this with, they were older. They were older than me. And so they will say anything to try to get you moved or to try to get you outright fired, because these women are very, very territorial. And I can't stand territorial women, because what women don't understand is that if a man is going to cheat and stray, he's going to cheat and stray. It doesn't matter how much you curse him out. It doesn't matter how much you threaten him. It does not matter how much you tell him all these other men want you, and all these other men look better than him, and they have more money than him. Men don't care about that. Men are visual, and if a man wants a particular woman, he's going to do what he needs to do to get that woman. It doesn't matter what you say. But some of these women will feel like, well, I'm going to get her moved, because the chances of my man dealing with her or straying with her is going to be slim to none. I don't even want her in the department that my man is in. This particular woman that did this to me, she would come in, she would speak to every other woman in this particular department, but she wouldn't say anything to me. She would say certain things to certain women. Sometimes she would speak in English, but sometimes she would say certain things in Spanish to certain women. And then she would have them watching me, because I would catch them watching me and my interaction with her boyfriend. And she would also do it to other women. She wouldn't do it to every woman, but it would be certain plus size women or really pretty women that she would be watching. And the next thing you know, say if the boss came in and he would say, okay, people are overscheduled. Something went down. It's a lot of people that was on the schedule today. We're going to pick 5 people to go home. We're going to pay you for half of the day, but the rest, we're going to send you home. You could work like 4 or 5 hours, but the other 4 hours or the other 5 hours or 6 hours, the rest of you all got to go home. And the boss may have handpicked a couple of people, but this particular woman, she would always come to me. She would always say, oh, well, you can send Kiki home. Oh, well, don't you want to take a half day off? And I would be looking like, no, I want my full 8, 9, 10 hours, because there was a lot of overtime available. But she would always pick me, or she would always pick this other girl. Now, if her boyfriend was not there, if he was there for the off day, she wouldn't bother me. I started to really analyze and pay attention to this. This is why you guys, you got to be very aware of your surroundings, especially in the workplace. People in the workplace are cutthroat. And I don't doubt that me and you go through this as well. But as I always say, I am a woman, so I'm coming from a woman's perspective. And the one-on-ones that I have, it is with women having these similar issues. At another job that I worked, it was another woman. This woman was a team lead. She was black. She was not even in a relationship with this younger guy, but he had a crush on me. He may have been attracted to a couple of other women. This woman was so jealous. She would start questioning me. She would start questioning a couple of other women that she would always see talking to him. And she was extremely manipulative, because what she would do is she would lie and try to say that I would be mad when he would be talking to other women. When I could care less, I would be quiet. When I saw him talking to other women, because number one, he wasn't my man. And number two, I didn't care. But she would project actually who she was and what she was doing, guys. That's why I also told you all in another message how people project. They will accuse you of doing things that they know that they do. They will accuse you of being something that they know they really are. This woman would watch me like a hawk. When I would leave out for lunch, she would watch me. When she saw me looking around, she started spreading rumors that I was stalking a guy and I was watching him. When there was a young lady that worked there, me and her were real cool. And sometimes she would give me her key card to be able to get back into the building, because she worked in a different area than me. And so I couldn't get in this certain area, but as a shortcut, her particular keypad would help me get into the door. So if she was off, she would come up there because she had a family member that also worked there. And so she would come up there in the middle of the day on lunch so she can hang out with this family member, or she would try to see if she could catch me in the parking lot. And sometimes I would be looking for her. This particular team lead would be watching me, and she started spreading rumors, even telling a guy, oh, she's watching you, she's crazy, she's stalking you. But come to find out, she was watching not only me, but she was watching the guy as well. And then one other woman came to me when she was about to quit. She put in her 2 weeks notice. She came to me and said, you know, so-and-so confronted me about talking to so-and-so. She asked me, what is it that we are talking about? I'm like, are you serious? And I said, see, I told you. And then things started to leak out. A lot of information started to leak out about this guy and about this lady who was a team lead. She was very unprofessional. And you all need to know that in the workplace, some people, some women in these positions. Now, at this other job, this woman had a position. She was a team lead. But like I told you, at the other job, because at one time I had 2 jobs at one point. Praise the Lord. But at the other job, the woman didn't have a position. She just would take the new hires on tour around the building. She didn't have any clout where she can hire or fire anybody. Okay? She would just show people around, and if it was an issue that somebody had, they could come and tell her. But she didn't hold a title. She probably didn't make any more than me or any other workers, but because her boyfriend worked there and he was a team lead, this woman felt like she was important. She felt like what she said goes. She felt like she had the power and clout to do certain things. And for a little while, until I had a conversation with the supervisor, it was able to go through, and eventually the woman ended up getting fired. It didn't have anything to do with me. It was just that she was problematic doing a bunch of other stuff with different workers. She was coming in late. She was calling off a lot. She was arguing with different people. She was picking at different women. And so a series of women ended up telling on her. HR got a hold of her in corporate, and eventually they fired her. So I didn't have to deal with that anymore. Other women didn't have to deal with it either. But at this other job, this particular team lead, she more than likely still works at this company. And she would brag about how she had a sister that worked at the company. She would brag about how she had a lot of dirt on the company, and if they ever fired her, she would get an attorney and she would light the place up. It was always a threat. And so this woman would commit everything short of murder, but this company for some weird reason would protect her. She had a sexual relationship with a guy that worked there. He ended up getting killed. It didn't have nothing to do with her. Rest in peace to him. But somebody deleted him because it was said that it was mistaken identity. But this team lead openly messed with him, and everybody knew it, and the company did nothing. She was still there. So then this young guy comes along. He's in my face talking to me. He's talking to several other women, but she's giving me a problem. She's confronting me. She's confronting other women asking, oh, is that your man? Oh, is that your boo? She's asking this other woman, what are y'all talking about? She used to watch them like a hawk when this guy and this girl was talking. And so overall, I'm letting you all know, when you see these things in the workplace, before it goes deeper and before it goes further, I would personally suggest that you immediately get moved. Because every day that you clock in and every day that you try to come to work to focus and do your job, that particular woman that has whatever she has going on with that man, she is going to raise hell, and she is going to try to kick stuff off with you. Whether she's picking at you, whether she's trying to find out information on you. This particular woman kept asking me questions about my personal life. She was asking other people personal questions. She started to spread very vicious rumors about me. She was telling the guy that she had something going on with her. I guess he was trying to get with her. He was trying to talk to me too. And I guess he went further with her because he was not my man. I never got intimate with him. It was nothing like that. But I think that with her, whatever he was telling her, whatever they had going on, she was territorial and she felt like she owned him. And so she did not want me there. That spirit in her did not want me there. That spirit in her did not want certain other women there. But it was a whole lot of women that would talk to him, eat lunch with him, walk out the building with him. She wouldn't confront them. She would actually be cool with these women. But come to find out, he had some stuff going on with a couple of these other women, but she would never confront them. It was just something about me, and it was something about one other girl that was there. She was biracial, and she was always coming to confront us about this guy. She drove down the end of the parking lot one day where me and this guy would park. We would park on the end of the lot, but the team leads and certain bosses, they would park at the beginning of the parking lot. But one particular day, when everybody was off, she drove down to the end of the lot trying to see what I was doing and looking at what the guy was doing, and it blew people at work away. People was like, what is this girl doing? She's never acted like this. She just started to become more and more problematic. She was passive aggressive. She would scream, she would holler, she would start crying. She started telling lies and just making it like I was causing some type of issue, when as God is my judge, I would be at work and 95% of the time I was quiet. I was doing my job. I wouldn't even be talking to the guy. Now, after work, he texted me a couple of times, but there was never no relationship. There was never anything more than, he did make it known that he liked me, but he had to have something going on with that girl or whatever. And I talked a little bit about this in a live that I did about jobs, about the workplace. And I talked about it in my video. You don't owe your coworkers anything, but it's not detailed like this. But I just wanted to bring this up and address this again, because the last 3 one-on-ones I've had, women have come to me about a woman and their job that is problematic. They are getting them fired, or they're getting them rolled up. They are watching them, they're picking at them, they're bullying them, and it always seems to be a man in the midst of it. So my advice again is, when you get wind of this, when you see this, I'm not saying be afraid and run. You don't let anybody run you or move you out of your position, especially if you know God gave it to you. But you need to be, number one, documenting everything. You need to also consider if there is another department you can go to. See if you can move to another cubicle, depending on the type of work that you do. See if you can be transferred to another location within that company. That is the best thing to do, because it gives you a peace of mind. It keeps your name from being put, you being an innocent person, it keeps your name from being put in mess and drama and confusion, and it removes you from being stressed out and anxious to go to work, because it would be days I would dread having to go to work, because if they put me in her area to work with her, I just started to get very uncomfortable, because I knew before the end of that day she was going to try to do something to either try to front me off. And I bumped heads with her several times, because I would have to always check her. She was the type that was ghetto, that was loud. She was always calling people out. She would pick the smallest thing and complain about it, and several times I would have to check her, and then we would start coming to blows with each other. And so now, looking back on everything in retrospect, now if I ever come across that again, if I decide to go back into a 9-to-5 job in the workplace, I will never again allow that. I will immediately take myself out the situation. I will no longer be a part of that, because I told you all before, and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna end the video. The way you win a game is to simply not play it. Don't play the game, guys. That's the video message. Well, guys, it's time for me to go, because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I spoke about in this video message, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned, because I know you will forgive me in the morning.